Bam. Woohoo. Happy Friday. Okay, I have been on, I just completed the first of a 2-week sabbatical where I am, where I was not taking any meetings or doing any additional things. I just needed to rest. I needed to do no thing. And like that was a good on paper plan, but I've had a few very, very great interruptions this week. And so I'm excited about them. But we also celebrated our new moon phase this week. This past Tuesday at 10:42 p.m. we started a new moon phase, and so I cast my intentions for what I wanted to accomplish during this new moon phase. And one of them was I wanted to revisit my first book, Premature Pleasures. Next year it will be 20 years. We'll be celebrating 20 years since its release, and I wanted to reread it. To do like just kind of to see kind of where I am 20 years later, because I also was am about to release it as an ebook, and then next year I will re-release it in hardcover as like again a 20-year anniversary edition. So anyway, so it was interesting reading it and seeing where I have changed and where I stand pat. One of the things that I have most definitely changed is I was very uncomfortable reading the N-word in the book. One of a white woman who is a part of a Taizé worship group that I've been worshipped in since I've been worshiping with since I arrived to Raleigh. She ordered the book, and we were having a discussion over coffee, like the group of us. And I was telling them that I no longer use the N-word. I replaced it with the word motherfucker. I just feel like motherfucker is more is equal opportunity, and it doesn't have the cultural history or nooses or whatever. So it's like So if I have to clown somebody, like everybody's just a motherfucker. That's my language. But she was like, well, in your book you use the N-word, and I was like, well, in that context, that is what would be said. Like, so I was honoring the characters, the character's word choice. But then as I went back through it today, this week, as I read the book cover to cover, and I realized that there are so many other words that could be used. Brother, fam, dude. And so I, for the most part, wiped the N-word out of this current edition that's about to be Premature Pleasures, the current edition that's about to be released as an ebook. So no more N-word, save for like maybe one character or something. It's like that's just kind of who they are. So I let him say it, but no one else. Everyone else found something else to say. The second thing, though, that I found that I'm like, this is interesting. Like, where do I stand on this? It is a scene with my prematurely developed character, young Trekila Baden. Trek is 11, looks like she's 15 or 16. One summer night, she attends a slumber party attended by her little quote hoe clique. And these are girls that are like for real with the business. They're older and they're with the business. Trek is younger. She's just trying to play big girl. She's at their slumber party, and they convince her to go along with this prank. And in the prank, it was that she needed to run outside in the moonlight in her underwear and tongue kiss the first boy she's seen. So it sounds kind of benign until the scene actually plays out. And the way it plays out, the way it came to me, I was like, oh shit, I'm like for real bold in this. Only in that I was not willing to sanitize it back then to try to make it comfortable. I wanted to say, here is what happens when you have a drunk Aunt Kitten who's like passed out and like sleeping hard in the mother's bedroom, and the girls have no supervision and they love to push the boundaries. This is what you end up with. And so I wanted to be true to that story. And so when I wrote it 20 years ago, I was like, yo, like here's how it would happen. 20 years later, I reread it. And that's how it happens. And even more so, I realized that there is a way in which we allow everybody else to touch our bodies when they want to. And the minute we do something that feels good to us, then it becomes a label. And so I wonder, at what point is it okay for me to be in control of my pleasure and my body? When does that start? Does it start when I get married? Does it start when somebody else tells me, okay, now you can experience the pleasure of touching your body, or deciding who gets to play safe touch with you? I read that scene in light of 20 years later of the Me Too movement, of all of the friends who've come out and said, this person violated me, and I've carried that bullshit for 20, 25, 30 years. This person violated me, and I never said anything to anybody. This person violated me, and I thought it was my fault. I thought, okay, we're finally opening up about where we've been violated, but at what point do we say, I am open to the fearless capacity for my total joy with my body, with my life? I've decided that today is that day. And so as I finish the reread of Premature Pleasures, I am like doubling down on the way that that scene played out. In fact, the way the whole book was written, I was reading it and I was filled with so much pride and so much joy at the courage that I experienced in telling that story. So, I don't know, I'm advocating for fearless capacity, for having an open and fearless capacity for experiencing your joy at every age, but certainly for Black girls. Today is our day. Make room for your joy, make room for your bliss. Happy Friday, fam. Be good to yourself and to others.